Welcome back to the Smarter Manager YouTube channel, and today we're going to look at a challenge we all have. Have you ever taken longer than you think is appropriate to find a document that you know you have? Organizations are known for having folder structures where they have the documentation stored, and when things are created or when we get documentation from people we're working with, we store them in the appropriate folder. And when you have become a master of that folder structure, then you, with lots of agility, you can get to the documents that you need. But here's the challenge that we have. We oftentimes will have people who are new to the project, new to the organization, projects and workflow that are different because the things you're managing is different. And here is a tool that I'm going to suggest that is available to you, and it's an easy, simplified concept that can help you with data management. Now, on massive projects, when you have large organizations, they have what we call a project management platform where they control the information, and information exchange goes through that platform, and the platform typically has a searchable database that you can use to get to documentation. But for the average person doing management of information and project management, we don't use those platforms. We don't have access to those platforms. Those platforms are bulky, they're heavy, they do so much, and for us, they do so little. So for the average person managing a project, managing a team with a lot of documentation, and you're struggling with how do you find documentation quickly and easily, this one is for you. So stick around, and we're going to walk through a simple and free solution that you can utilize starting now to organize your documentation and documentation sharing. Before I get into it, let's look at the hat. What's the story behind this hat? The story behind this hat is it's a little dark to see. The theme is the Dark Universe, which is one of the lands in the Universal Epic theme park that just is about to open at the time of recording this video. They are already going through previews, and I had the pleasure and the challenge and the everything that it came with to be a part of that in several capacities. So the Dark Universe, one of the lands at Universal's Epic, is sort of the hat that I'm wearing today. All right, so jumping back in, we want to unlock project efficiencies. Common struggles include you have 5-layer deep folder structure, scattered internet-based documentation links, files hidden on personal desktop, files that have multiple potential homes but can only live in one folder. And you end up with lost time and frustrations and delays with trying to find the document. That's the reality. The reality is you have endless clicks to get to folders. You're searching through email links, you're digging through your computer local drive and trying to find things. Where is that document again? Common question. And here is what a typical folder structure could look like. So small, I'm sure you're not seeing it very well, but here we have one big drive and we have multiple folders, and then it breaks down and it continues like that. One of these departments or areas, or depending on how your organization divides it, will have a master folder. Then you have subfolders, and each subfolder has folders within it, and it breaks down like a tree, and you can get 4, 5, 6 deep before you even know it. All right, so let's look at what challenges this will present. It will present the challenge of not being able to find things. We all lived it. And I'm going to suggest a very basic concept. It's a table of content. It's one simple list, and that list has a link to every document, regardless of where the document is. Whether you're working in Box, Dropbox, Google platform, you're working with internet-based things that have other spaces where you store things, or you have a local drive, whatever it is, this system is going to give you quick access to all those types of documentation. It doesn't matter which type of documentation you're talking about. So the essence of it is a spreadsheet. Basic uniform structure. Couple of required columns. You want to have a number so you can reference it, a unique number, and just have the system generate this, or you pre-populate it. The document typically has an owner, and that owner usually is the folder that it ends up belonging to. So this employee exit checklist seems like an HR document, and here is the link to it, regardless of where it's stored. Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, wherever it is, you have a link to it. The document type is defined here, and here is where things get interesting. We have a checkbox for each department, and if this document is one that the accounting department will more than likely need to reference, then we check that box. This document could very well impact both accounting and construction, and that's what we show here. We have this document, which is the brand guide, style guide. This is going to affect marketing and probably no one else. And you continue down the line with this, and you can end up with a situation using the functions of a spreadsheet that we're all familiar with. We have the ability to create filters. So there's a filter here that is showing accounting department. So if the accounting department has a new person, or you are working in the accounting department and you want to get to the accounting department's list of documents, you go to this table of content and you click on that filter, and you are there. It shows you exactly what you need, many of which impacts other departments. So you are sharing it. For instance, this monthly financial summary is something that we all have an interest in. So having it appear on everybody's list, which is what checking these boxes will do. And the mechanics of how you set up this in either Excel, in Google Sheets, in Numbers, or Smart Sheets, or whatever other platform, Asana, all of those platforms have what is a spreadsheet in its flat state, or it has a polished spreadsheet in the form of other nuances around it. But at the end of the day, it's a row of information, and another row duplicates that information but points to a different asset. That's basically what it is. So we're going to look at what this feels like. If we were to look at this in the platform that I have chosen to demonstrate it, you could have it automatically generate these numbers. So once you add something new, it adds a new number, and that's always unique. So conversations can be around Doc 023, not ambiguous. Only one document exists with that, and you can talk about it. This document is a marketing owned. It's an event promotion schedule. You want to get to it. Here's the link. The document is a planning document. It affects which department does it affect, and here is where your choices of platforms will make a difference. You can come here and select the departments that it affects and have this feed the checkboxes by programming it. Or you can just have the checkboxes and the checkboxes feed this. So you don't need both, but I have both here as a demonstration. Because either way, the importance of this is, if I wanted to see just the stuff that belongs to the HR department, I can come to a pre-recorded filter and go there, and it looks for everything that has the HR checkbox marked, right? So you can create your own filters and use your own filters. So a couple of things on filters while I'm here. If you look at my filter list, you notice the first set, and I haven't done all the possible filters, I use a prefix that shows what is the basis on which I'm creating this filter. I'm creating department filters, and by doing this, all the department filters will appear together. And then all the filters that are based on document type will appear together. As opposed to, you have accounting, and then you have checklists, and then you have construction, and then you have contract. And if you never use this prefix to sort of group them in the list. So that's a useful thing and a quick tip there. So if users get to this and there's a bunch of stuff in it, they're like, oh my God, how do I get to it? And this is a super small list. This is only 57. But if this list was 507, 1,000, 2,000, if it's a massive project, you will still be able to get down to the accounting needs. Accounting can add notes here, notes that are commenting on the content and the nature of these documents to help others by leaving crumbs along the way. So if somebody comes here and you say, this does not have salary info, it means that whoever is looking at this will see that and like, oh, so if that's what they're looking for, they know it's not that document. But the ability to share commentary on this and it's in front of you, it's here, is super useful. The other option is going to be just tribal knowledge, and you know when you know, and you make mistakes and you waste 15-20 minutes today going through folder structure. Do the same tomorrow, do that 5 days for the week, and that's a part of your life of getting through documentation. Where this, I think, is way more agile. If you have a naming convention for this, you can search through names, you can sort through names. There's just a bunch of things that you can do with this. It does require that you have a gatekeeper to add entries here whenever you have documents that are being created in the team for others to utilize, or documents that you are getting from your clients or vendors that you want to share with your team. So it becomes super useful in that sense. Why does it work? It works because it creates one place to search, and it does not slow down the searches that we have latched on to now, which is the AI searches, just going into a folder and doing a Control F and search for a keyword and all that. But it gives you a basis and a structure for organizing those documents that you can sort of see in front of you and zoom in and zoom out. And I think it can help. One place to search, fast access from anywhere. You can connect local and online resources as long as you have access. It doesn't negate the security concern where if a document falls on a list and I don't have access to it, I will not be able to get to it because I have the link. I still won't have access because it's in this folder that I don't have access to. So it doesn't compromise security in that way. And it reduces miscommunication. And here is what I'm going to say on communication. We have evolved into a style of management where communication is seen as telling everybody everything. So you CC everybody in the corporation on a note. You push a document and you send it to the whole world. The challenge with that is if you have an engineer who is coming on board to work with you for a week to review some documents, that's the sole purpose the person is coming in as an expert. The person will not understand your folder structure, so they won't be agile. And you can say, yeah, but I can send them the links that they want. And absolutely you can. But imagine that you could send them the links by going into a pre-formatted space and creating a for review filter that at its core is looking at anything that has at least one of these. If it says construction as a department, or if it says document type is drawing, right? And then this becomes a list that you can share, and the person is looking at this instead of looking at a daunting folder structure as a start. So it makes for less friction with startup, and it leans less on people having experience with folder structures. And you only, if we're honest with ourselves, you only get experience with folder structure by spending time navigating that folder structure until it becomes second nature. So it makes the startup a little bit slower, and it doesn't take away from the ability for the organization to organize its documents in folders. That's not what I'm advocating. I'm advocating for having organized them in that structure. We can create a table of content that allows us to search and manipulate and get to specific things with less friction and way more agility. So how to build it? It's a basic spreadsheet. At its core, many spreadsheets will allow you to program it to increment if you wanted. If I was doing this in the real world, Smartsheet would automatically put a number on this. A drop down document type, construction. This is drawing A21 or A23. And where is the drawing living? Right? That's the address for the drawing. And document type. This is a drawing. Who's going to be impacted by this? I think the construction guys. And this drawing has a little bit of information that has to do with procurement. It may have a schedule for doors and a schedule for stuff that they are going to purchase. So they may both have an interest in that. So I check those two boxes. And what will happen? Drawing A21 will therefore automatically make it to the construction review filter because it was added and it was given those appropriate tags. It takes a little bit of effort for one person, but it pays off for every time somebody wants to find something and they find it with a level of agility and consistency and predictability, right? So it is worth it, and I want you to give me your thoughts on that in the comment section. All right. So in closing, just let me know if you think it works. Let me know if you think it's worth it. I have done projects where the juice is worth the squeeze. I've done projects that are so big that we have one person whose sole job is to manage all the documentation that's coming in and out and maintain this and communicate with the client and all of that. And I've done projects that are much smaller where you have 50 documents and you have either the PM or a PA maintaining this or they're doing it together. And it takes one person 4 or 5 minutes to add 2 documents to this. But if you think of the reward for the entire team in accessing those documents, it's absolutely worth it. All right. So let me know your thoughts. We are gonna get into the mechanics of it, and let me show you super quickly in case somebody needs to know. The link here can either be put here, or you can either, in many platforms, you can bury it on top of a name. And the mechanics of that is gonna be different for different platforms, right? So if we bury one here, this now becomes a hyperlink. So if you prefer that, you can actually do it that way, or you can just paste the actual link here. And obviously we're not reading this, so I don't need to be able to see this text. So I can make this column less wide than the length of the content. Because if I want to get to daily construction log, I don't need to read this. I just need to click on it and it takes me there. All right, so those little tips are there. If you have any ideas that you've used, stuff that worked, feel free to add it in the comment section. And until next time, continue to strive toward becoming the smarter manager that you can be. And see you in the next video.